What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys are listening to episode, what is this, 479. And I have my laptop back. I have my camera back. I have the studio the way that I want it. I hope it sounds better. Again, sorry for that. Although I look back at the iPhone thing, and it looked pretty good. So thank you guys so much for checking out the Virzi Effect. Thank you all who subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can get the Virzi Effect everywhere you get podcasts. That's right. iTunes, Spotify, all those great places for your listening pleasure. I want to first start out by thanking everybody who came out to see me in Atlanta. It was pretty cool, pretty amazing, and pretty humbling to have people coming out during what's going on. We're in the second wave of this pandemic. They're doing limited seating in there. So it's spread out and it's not as many people, but had a great time. Ton of people coming up to me saying that they've been fans of the show for years. They listen to the podcast. Those are always my favorites. So thank you guys so much for coming out during this. But as you guys know, it was safe. It was spread out and you didn't feel like you were all over the place or on top of each other in there. I had a little bit of a nightmare in Atlanta because I got stuck at the Charlotte airport for 8 fucking hours. It's the price you pay when you want to fly from your local county airport, which is very close to your house, instead of going to New York City like LaGuardia or JFK. No, I wanted to fly out of Westchester County Airport, which is so easy to my house, which means I have to stop and have a layover in Charlotte. That's fine if you want to wait 2 hours, have something to eat. It's not fine when you wait 2 hours, have something to eat, and then it gets delayed another 6 hours, and you're in the Charlotte fucking airport for 8 hours, and then you land in Atlanta when you have a show an hour and a half later from when you finally settle into your hotel, and you're exhausted, and then your hotel room was not properly cleaned, so I had to switch rooms. It was an absolute shitstorm getting there. Not to mention the Atlanta airport is not the easiest airport to get out of because you got to get on trains and shit to get out of there. Other than that, it was great. Other than that, it was great. Here's the unacceptable for the week. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't give a fuck. And if I've talked about this any other time, well, it's going to be a repeat because it hasn't been fixed. American Airlines, just like United, they don't give a fuck. They sit you next to people. It's a global pandemic. They sit you next to people. They don't give a shit. But you know what? Let's just forget that for a second. Let's forget the fact that we're in a global pandemic, which is killing hundreds of thousands of people in our country. And every other airline, decides to leave the middle seat open so you don't feel like you're on top of somebody. But no, not American, because I was on a small jet. They just pack it the fuck in. They don't care. Take your chances. Fuck you. We need to get our money back. That's the motto of that airline. All right. But just like disgraceful United Airlines, American Airlines decides to have flights that are 2 hours long with zero entertainment. Zero entertainment. Or you got to go on your phone. There's no TVs. Okay. My fucking plane was so old. There was literally like black marker on the thing that says no smoking. Like that's literally a plane from the 90s. I was on a plane from the 90s. No smoking. It was like stained. It had that like old stain, the way like a newspaper turns yellow. That's what it had on there. It's like American Airlines. How about you just step up your fucking game? All right. I was on a Delta flight that was an hour and 20 minutes. There were TVs in there, new leather seats everywhere, more options for more space, completely comfortable, nobody next to you. Just upgraded and better. And guess what? That's why I'm a member of Delta. American Airlines could give a shit. American Airlines could give a fuck. The jets are old. You're sitting next to people. Fuck that airline. Okay, it's 2021. If every fucking airplane doesn't have a little TV, okay, you could go on your phone and your mobile device. Okay, yeah, do you even have an outlet where I could plug my thing in? So what if my thing dies? I'm just shit out of luck because you guys are still dinosaurs? Unacceptable. American Airlines sucks. Sucks. And even their first class. It's like your first class in a pandemic. I don't want somebody sitting next to me. You know, do every other fucking row. It's first class. So I should pay for that too. I want to feel fucking safe. I want some fat fuck breathing on me. Unacceptable, guys. It's absolutely unacceptable what United and American Airlines is ridiculous, but American having no space in between. Now, granted, when the plane's not packed, they let you move and go to a place somebody isn't. But what does that mean? What does that tell you? So there's my unacceptable. Just you know, there's no smoking. Like they're no smoking on the. Who's smoking on a fucking airplane? Who's smoking on an airplane? Seriously. In 2021, who is getting on an airplane, taking out a lighter, putting a cigarette, and actually fucking attempting that? Who is doing that? You know, it's like the craziest. So anyway, it was, yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's shitty. You know, United is so close. I'm 5'8". My knees are fucking in my chin. So anyway, but other than that, great shows, great time. Got to work on new material. Something really cool happened Sunday night, which is usually light crowds on a Sunday night in Atlanta, especially during everything that's going on. But there was a nice little crowd in there. I ended up doing an hour and like 24 minutes and just having these great moments. I got to record the set. It was so much fun. Saturday night, the 8 and the 10 o'clock were sold out. So Atlanta, man, thank you guys again. And I'm going to be back there hopefully in 3 or 4 months. I'm just going to keep coming back there every few months because I love the spot. And I got to also shout out to Bailey from the Bailey and Southside show, morning radio show out there. I went and I met him for lunch at a tennis club, and it's where the Cobra Kai fight between the girls were when she kicked her through the fucking table of food and all that. And like a nerd, I was just like, oh, that's the pool that those teenage girls fought at? Let me take a picture as a grown fucking 40-year-old man with 2 children. Let me give a fuck about this. But I did. So I don't, I don't know what you want me to tell you. What else is going on in the world? They're impeaching Trump again. I mean, I've never seen, it's like the guy's leaving in a week. And I've just never seen, this is my question. The hatred for Trump and the just the talking about Trump, what's the media going to do when it's Biden by him? Like when it's just Biden, are they going to slip and forget? Be like, can you believe what this piece of shit? And the editor's going to come in. No, guys, it's Biden. He's out. It's another guy. Oh, my bad. Shit. Like, I mean, it's been 4 years of hating somebody. Like, what are they going to do? I'm really curious to see what they're going to do. If it's just going to go like from all the hatred to like just loving this guy, you know, I want to see how Biden ages. Because you know the way when a president goes in, they're kind of looking a little better than when they go out. Biden kind of looks like he's on his way out of 2 terms and he's walking into the first one. Let's be fucking honest. Biden looks like he is done. Yeah. Biden looks like he should be leaving office on January 20th, and some fucking dark hair guy should be coming in there looking like I can take this on before that job beats the shit out of him. Okay. Listen, as a comedian, I get fucking, I used to. I actually like it now. I do like online hate. I'm not kidding. When somebody online hates like fuck Virzi, I don't think he's funny. It used to bug me. And now I just actually feel bad for that person. And I know that I'm doing something right. Like we spoke about before on this. But like, if you don't have thick skin as a president, it's like, if everybody was going at me the way they were going at Trump, and listen, I know they went at Trump, rightfully so on a lot of things. But if somebody was going at me like that, major media outlets were going at me like that, I think I'd be tweeting too. Or I would at least be like, yeah, but they don't know the whole story. Like I would have like too much of that shit. So I don't know what they're going to do with Joe Biden on Inauguration Day. It's like it's one of those things where he's going to go in. It's going to be fresh. People are going to be like, I have a feeling they're still going to go after Trump. I'm not even joking. I have a feeling that the Trump thing is going to be, mark my words. Here's my dude. I called it. The Trump thing is not going away for a year. That's my thing. I think Biden will be in there. The new administration coming in, they're going to start changing things. And then you're going to start hearing that they might try to reverse some of the things that Trump did. And then you're just somehow you're going to hear Trump. It's not over yet. It's not. I think they're not going to be happy unless they have his balls in a jar and him just fucking tarred and feathered on the front of every paper with him crying with his hands up going like, I'm sorry. Like, I think that that's what they want. And I think until they get it, oh my God, man, fuck that. You know, being like the president of the United States is a lot different than being like the president of an NFL team or a sports team. Right? When you're a president of a sports team, you're not even the owner. They talk to the owner and they talk to the GM. That's who they want to go after. On any sports team, the people that are under the microscope, owner and GM. GM makes the personnel decisions and the owner makes all the decisions. But if you're the president, you're kind of just sitting back as the head of the whole thing and like you get brought up later. That's the only president you want to be. You do not want to be the president of other shit. For the new listeners, I think I told this story. I told this story a long time ago on the Virzi effect. I believe I did. So if you heard this and you're a diehard that have been listening, but for the new fans, we're doing this on video now. I'll tell you guys this story. So I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. And then I got some cool announcements and stuff, podcast announcements and other things like that. But I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm performing at the Great Hilarities Comedy Club. There's a lot of military in the crowd. There's a lot of people that served in the crowd. There was an air show in town, I believe. There were pilots, the whole fucking thing. So everybody leaves, and there's like an after-hour spot. If you want to, cap off the night with a cocktail or two and an appetizer, there's, Irish pubs are always good for that in any city. So we go up to this place, Flannery's, which is right up the road from the Hilarities Comedy Club on the corner. And we're in there. I see a lot of military people in there. Military people in there are having their drink too. They're having a good time in there. So enjoying it, hanging out. And I start talking to somebody. I was like, hey, you're really funny. I was like, oh, man, thank you for your service. I'm so cool that you guys could come out. So cool that the military would come out. And we're talking in there. We're like, yeah, do you see that guy over there? And I look over. It's a true story. I look over. And the guy that they're talking to, the guy that they pointed at, that they're talking about, they say to me, yeah, that guy's the pilot of Marine One for George W. Bush. For you people that don't know, Marine One is the green helicopter that lands on the White House lawn, and they get out with their family, their dog, and they walk from that into the White House. Okay, you've seen it a million times. So this guy did that for George W. Bush. I got like a Corona in my hand or whatever, and I'm like, fuck, I got to go. I got to talk to this guy. All right, this guy was flying the president around, and I'll never forget. He told me two things. So anyway, I walk up to him, and I got to try to get involved in the conversation. I said, hey, man, thanks for coming. He's like, oh, you're so funny, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, man, I understand you fucking fly Marine, you flew Marine One with W. Bush. He goes, yeah. And I go, you got any cool stories? Like, is there anything that you could tell me about this? I mean, you're flying, like, not many people in the world were flying the president of the United States to his house, right? If you think about it, it's probably the same amount of people that have performed in a stadium, or probably the same amount of people that have, less people won an Oscar, right? So this is a really cool thing. So I go, what stories do you got? And he told me two things. This is what he told me. I'm telling you exactly what he said. He said, and I'll probably, if I repeat this on another podcast in the future, I'm sorry, but you guys are getting it here first. Because sometimes we do so many fucking podcasts, guys. I mean, I've been asked. I mean, I have one tonight I didn't even know I had. I mean, I'm doing podcasts like, if I got paid for every fucking podcast I've been doing, I'd be sitting in a fucking castle right now. So the two stories he told me, he said, if people really knew how incredible and strong of a person Laura Bush is, the wife, George W. Bush's wife, he said, if you knew how strong and incredible, he said, you'll never hear it. You'll never know really, but she's amazing. That was the first thing. And the second thing he said to me was, I hope I'm allowed to say this shit. I just realized, I'm like, can I say this? I remember he said something along the lines of, one night it was just him and the president in a helicopter. It's kind of dark in there, and they're flying, and they're hovering, and he's dropping them off. And he said he just looked back there, and the president just head down, just exhausted, just like drained. And he's like, and I thought in that moment, like, you could have this job. This is like not, it's one of those things where I think being a president of the United States is really, really fucking cool for probably like, 3 months, maybe 6 months, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, the pay is not great. And I got to worry about a potential war with Iran that's going to ultimately be on me. Like, fuck that. Being the president, like, I don't know, man. That's just something where you're like, I could be doing what right now? Like, I could be doing, how many presidents were probably like, fuck, man, if it wasn't bad historically, dude, I just want to do one of these terms. You can't tell me that out of all the presidents, 45, you can't tell me that one of them wasn't like, oh, dude, maybe they won't vote me in the next one. I'm just hoping maybe they won't vote me in the next one. I'll get out of here, and I'm just going to go fucking play golf and get all the perks that ex-presidents get, and I want to get the fuck out of here. I mean, you can't tell me that some people don't think that. It's like doing a podcast. You're like, this is going to be great. I'm going to get a show. I'm going to have my own shit. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. And then you're like, yeah, I got to do another one today, dude. I got to pick my kids up. This is going to be, it's not all the bells and whistles, but president is just like, you're responsible. Could you imagine waking up in the morning, right? Just imagine you just wake up in the morning and you're like, you get out of bed. You're like, honey, what's going on? It's nice out. It's a beautiful day. Secret Service, we're protected. You can get a bowl of fucking life cereal. Let's throw some raisins in my life, and you just go there. What's going on, guys? I mean, you got cooks, everything. Let me get the paper. And then you just look at the paper and you're just like, President Yu, responsible for deaths in Afghanistan. War criminal or no? And you're just like, what the fuck? What? Like who? I don't know, man. I don't know. There's something about doing a job that's not, listen, I love being a comedian. I love being my own boss. There were times I fantasized about being like a fucking FedEx driver or a mailman. You just fucking do your route, go home. And then I'm like, after a week, I'd hate that too. That's why comedy is the ultimate. Comedy is the fucking best. This is the only job where, I can fucking think about a dick joke today and go do it tomorrow night and get paid for it and write my own shit. I don't think I'll ever do anything other than this. So, yeah, but I just look at these guys and I look at what they go through and, and again, it's not a political thing. This is just Biden's an old motherfucker, dude. Like, Biden is like, what is he, 76? I think they said Biden is older going into the White House than Reagan was leaving. There definitely needs to be an age limit, same with driving, I just seriously, I think 75, you got to have somebody with you at least, it's like if there's a co-pilot, what are the chances? Think about that for a second. There's a co-pilot when you're flying a plane and the plane is a lot of computer and the plane is like, 99.999, like, safe. And you got a guy in there, but in case the guy has a heart attack, there's another guy in there. But you're going to let a 97-year-old senile man fucking drive a car with nobody else there could go and kill somebody? It's like, I think there needs to be age limits. And should a president be younger? I don't know. How old was King Tut? It was a kid, right? I don't know. Oh, speaking of shit like this, speaking of kids and stuff, all right, guys, I watched something on Netflix. We'll move into this. There's really not much going on in sports right now. It's too early in the NBA season. I already talked about the Brooklyn Nets, how they're – oh, and another rat. They got another rat coming to Brooklyn. James Harden, another rat coming. Just a bunch of rats in the Barclays Center. Put up cheese traps. The place is a fucking rat-infested house. but I will tell you, we will get into some stuff that I watched. I was in Atlanta and I met some people and they were talking about intuition and they were talking about life after death and spirituality. And they said, you got to watch this show on Netflix. The show on Netflix is called Surviving Death. And it starts out with a woman who was kayaking in Chile. She goes over a big part of the waterfall, which she wasn't supposed to go to. Somebody's kayak made her go down there, and she went in and she was like submerged and stuck under 10 feet of water for like 30 fucking minutes. And they brought her back up and they're pumping, and she's basically saying what she's seeing. And, you know, and it fucked me up, man. It was really wild. And then they had mediums on. And here's my thing with mediums, okay? I don't know if it's true, okay? And God rest the souls of everybody that have passed. But like the mediums were saying stuff that were just kind of like, these people go with hope and desperation to talk to a loved one that they might not have had the proper closure with. They wish they could have said. So now the next thing is, I'm going to fucking fix this after they're dead. And the medium, one of the things was hilarious because the guy was like, I'm getting a sense of like a brother. And the guy's like, nah. All right, so it was something like this. And the guy's like, no. He's like, and they were trying. The guy goes, all right, hold on, I'm getting the wrong messages. And I was just like, is this bullshit? And then one of the ladies was like, voice was changing in like a seance, and she'd be like an old man, then a little kid. But like the ghosts were like cracking jokes through her. And I'm just going like, dude, I don't know. But then I'm thinking, what kind of fucking piece of shit? If you are lying, if that's not real, right? If it's not real, if you go and everyone's there and, you know, but they close the lights, but like, is there any worse way to make money in the world? Think about this for a second. And that's why I want to believe some of these people, and I am spiritual. But would there be any way in the world, like how much of a piece of shit do you have to be? If you're a crackhead sucking dick for your fix and your high, and you're stealing from your family to do that, that's better. Yes, I'm going to repeat that. Sucking dick for crack and stealing for from your family is better than having money, not sucking dick for crack, having all your teeth, looking fine, having money and clothes, and having people come to you and you lie about talking to their deceased one because they need it. That's the worst thing. And that's why I'm hoping that it's real. And I think some people might possess certain things stronger. But for me, I'm just like, dude, I don't know. And these people were putting a lot of faith in it. And then there was one thing where like the lady changed voices and she became a little boy and she was saying things to somebody that was skeptical. And then they were nailing it. But then it said like all this stuff was on his like Facebook. So you just don't know. And it's like, and you want to believe it for the people and you want to believe it for even the people like on the other side, you know, rest their souls. You want it to be like where it's working for everybody. But at the same time, you're like, it makes me think of that SNL sketch with, with Will Ferrell, where he was just saying general shit. Cause you could do that. You could say general shit. You could be like, all right. Somebody here was born in a hospital. Somebody here born in, you know, and it's like, so I don't know, man. And then it went to reincarnation, and these people were like that freaked me out because there were like little kids saying stuff that like only like this like war veteran knew. And like, then they found out that like, it might be somebody that was, and they look up the name and they're like, dude, this little kid can be this guy. And like one kid was like a pilot and like he was like 5 years old and he went to a museum and he just started naming parts of the plane and what the plane did and how it worked. And it just started freaking people out, man, you know? And it was just like, yeah, I don't know, dude. It was like, so I'm not going to lie. I was sitting up like freaked out, having panic attacks and shit. And, you know, stuff like that. And the only reason why King Tut is because like, imagine being born and you were like, dude, I'm King Tut. You know, and they're like, are you sure? You're like, nah, dude, I'm telling, like, I don't know. I don't know, but that's why when I did the gun to our heads with Bobby Kelly, it was a haunted house versus the deep woods. And I took the deep woods for 24 hours over a haunted house because I'm not good with that other realm, like, demonic or shit like that. I'm not good with, a little girl on a rocking horse talking to me and shit. Like, I can't, I'll deal with a fucking bear. Okay. By the way, subscribe to Gun to Our Heads. Patreon, $5 only, subscription only. There's no levels. It's just $5. Me and the funniest people on the planet are just talking about things. We're just talking about things we would rather have. Gun to your head. You got to make a choice. And it's a lot of fun. I've had amazing guests on there, and it keeps growing, but it's brand new. So there's only a handful of patrons. So definitely join that. Subscribe to the new YouTube page. It's crazy, dude. It's 2021. There's so many things to plug. I want to thank all of you though who subscribed to my YouTube channel and my Gun to Our Heads, but also all the fucking views and clips from I'll Say This, which is over now, between people that clicked on clips and between people that watched it full, watched it that night, everything. It's over 10 million views and clicks on socials. So it's like almost, yeah, it's just did fantastic. It's doing great. People are, looking out for it. And the next special is going to be coming out. Hopefully this year. We're going to shoot it this year. And there should be some announcements on that because we have some things in the works there. So fingers crossed with that. I will obviously let you guys know. Now, dates are on the new dates are going to be on the website. I'm coming to Florida. It looks like I'm going back to Utah. Unfortunately, the Wilbur Theater in Boston got moved to October 22nd from March 13th, just because March is too close and we're in the second wave here. That is not going to happen. Guys, next week, Bill Burr and myself will be doing the first ever on Inauguration Day. We're recording it. I don't know if it comes out on Inauguration Day or a couple of days, but late next week, episode 1, Bill Burr and myself, new podcast, Anything Better. We're going to be talking everything, life. We're going to be talking sports, definitely about NFL stuff going on now. But, me and him, we're such, good friends. Who knows what we're going to be talking about? It's hilarious when we get together. I'm sure we're going to be breaking balls, just having a good time. So you got to check out the brand new podcast, Anything Better, with myself and the great Bill Burr. So subscribe to that. That's available to subscribe to. So you can subscribe to that. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You could subscribe to my Patreon, Gun to Our Heads. Notice how all of this has only been $5 with the Gun to Our Heads. All right. Go to all those things. Check out all of those. Check out all those things. See what's going on. I want to thank the Drinking Bros podcast who had me on. It's a monster podcast. They had me on, and yeah, man, check that out. That's available that's a big podcast. And I'll be on Kelly and Calta tonight, but this is coming out after that. So I don't know why I'm telling you guys that. But yeah, man, this has been the Virzi Effect episode. What is this? Episode 479. We're about to hit 480. I got a big special guest for 500 if everything. It's so weird with COVID. You got to be like, if everybody is okay and things work out and there's not another wave and Fauci going to fucking change his mind. I mean, Fauci, can we be honest for a second? Listen, I like the kid because he's Italian. All right. I do. I like a little Italian kid who used to play basketball. He's a short kid who probably had a jumper like me. I get that. All right. But here's the deal. I mean, if you look at the timeline of Anthony Fauci, this guy, mask, no mask, could get sick, might not be. The next wave is going to be worse, might not be a next wave. This could do this. I don't know about this. Things might be better. Things could be worse. It's like this guy's got a dartboard and a fucking wheel, and he's throwing it at. And listen, I know the guy is smarter than most people in the world. I know that he's the head virologist for the United States of America. I'm not trying to knock the guy's credentials, but it's okay to say this is a fucking virus and enemy that nobody knows. We don't know what's going on, and we're going to figure it out. Why don't we just play it safe see what happens. We don't know what the protection is going to do, but we know it's going to be better than not being protected. So let's do that. That's all that needed to be said. All that needed to be said was, we don't know exactly how effective this is, but we know it's more effective than not having it. So we're going to do it. We're going to do this and that just to be precautious while we study this, because we just don't know. That's all. That's fucking all. I'm telling you, I could be a fucking virologist, and I could be a great fucking NFL head coach. I'm telling you that right now. If I was an NFL head coach, I've said it before, I kick for the points. Okay, I get the points. Always. I always get the points. I go with my gut. I do what makes sense. I keep us in the game. That's it. That's it. I don't do this fucking analytics. Some fucking nerd says, well, if you go for it 2 out of 3 times, I don't do that. Okay. I go with the gut. Okay. I don't know how we got here. Guys, check out all the podcasts. Thank you so much for checking me out online. Subscribe to all. Thank you for enjoying the Virzi Effect. I'll have another guest on the Virzi Effect really soon. Check out me and Burr's podcast next week. And I will be at a comedy club doing my new hour at a spot near you. And I will let you guys know when, where, and all the things with the next special when I get that information. Thank you, guys. This has been TVE 449. I'll talk to you soon.